I was talking to some folks about where our grassroots movement stands in America. And I think discussing last night with many of you, I think we're at a similar point. And it can best be summed up by a quote I read recently from the Indian leader Gandhi when he was fighting for freedom, his own freedom fight, to bring his nation out of the shadow of the British Empire. He said something that rings true in a clarion call sense today, and I want to share it with you. Gandhi, writing about their fight for freedom, said the following: "First, they ignore you. Then they ridicule you. Then they attack you. And then you win." And that is where we are today. For many, many months, the left ignored us. It's not happening. There's nothing happening out there. Nothing at all. There's nothing to see here. Then, as it got bigger and bigger, more people from all walks of life, rich, poor, black, white, all parts of the country, as the movement got bitter, they couldn't ignore it. And so ridicule set in. We heard some of that ridicule this week from the left, right here. Oh, they're AstroTurf. They're not real. They're not real. They're fake. It's plastic, right? Come on. It's AstroTurf. And the ridicule would build, and they would do the mocking tones. But the movement kept growing because people want freedom. People want to run their own lives. They don't need a government telling them how to run their lives. They're smart. They can do that. They want their families to make the key decisions, not some central planner. So the movement kept building, and it kept building, and it became a threat to their power. And so you had the attacks begin. And they were very difficult, negative, nasty attacks. The Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, you may have seen her on the screen just now. She actually said the protests taking place across America are un-American. She actually said that. Fellow citizens in the streets in a civil manner, standing up for freedom, and it's un-American. Majority Leader Harry Reid in the U.S. Senate, he actually said that we were evilmongers. I didn't know that was a word. I had to go look it up, evilmonger. I'm still not sure what it means. It sounds pretty bad, though. Someone help me with that one, an evilmonger. We're evilmongers. It sounds frightening. My children were terrified. Their dad's an evilmonger. And now the racial attacks and the attacks on our very personal beliefs and lives. We're a threat, and so they attack us. But friends, we're winning. They're attacking us, and you're going to be attacked, and you're already being attacked because you're going to win. You're going to win for your beliefs and your cause. And that makes the left attack you. And we're winning because of our ideas. We're not winning because we're technologically superior to the other side. Look, technology in politics is neutral. We're winning because of our ideas and our ideals. That's what victory is about in the political world. I know in Washington, D.C., Americans look at their capital and they see an administration in President Obama who's a genuinely nice man, and I mean that without any sense of irony. He's a nice man. He's someone who I believe means well, and America knows that, and they respect that. He has a nice family, and he's someone who cares deeply about his country. So it's not the personal that they look at Washington and dislike, because there's a lot to like there. It's the political, and by political I mean it's his agenda, it's his ideas. Unfortunately, the president, and too often the left in general, really believes that power should reside in the Capitol. That power is best left to the elites in their mind, not in reality, by the way. And Americans are looking at the ever-expanding tax burden, at the ever-expanding size of government, at all of the new bureaucracy, and they're realizing, no, that's not for us. We're going to return to our Reaganism. We're going to return to the roots of our freedom and prosperity, because we know that long-term prosperity, it doesn't reside in the halls of Capitol. It doesn't live in Washington, D.C. No. Prosperity beats in the heart of every individual American, every individual Norwegian. That is where prosperity and hope comes from. Not from government, but from the individual. You know, often people come up to me, the number one question I get at rallies and tea parties from our activists is a question that resounds. It's, are we winning? Are we making a difference? You know, are these rallies and events and tea parties and all of the work we're doing, the emails, the phone calls, are they really making a difference? And what I tell them is this: take a stroll back to January of 2009, just 1 year and 3 short months ago, and look at the situation politically in the United States. Chairman Steele touched on it in the video. January of 2009, we had a brand new president, Barack Obama, who was enjoying one of the most wondrous political honeymoons in modern American history. At one point, 76% of Americans approved of the job he was doing and said yes to what he was doing. He had 60 liberal Democrat votes in the Senate, a filibuster-proof majority. We on the right could not stop most of the things they were going to do in January of last year. In the House of Representatives, Speaker Pelosi, she enjoyed a 50-plus seat majority and an iron grip on power in the House. All of the political pundits, all of the mainstream media said the left's agenda is going to roll through. They're going to dramatically redistribute wealth and redistribute the way Americans live their lives. They talked a lot on the left about transforming the American way of life to their way of life, or their ideal of the way of life. And everyone thought it was going to happen. It was a done deal, right? They forgot about one thing. They forgot that in the political world, and certainly in the United States, and I believe here as well, the individual American, in the end, at the end of the day, gets his or her say. And the American people rose up. And I want you to think for just a moment about really the 3 or 4 biggest priorities of the left 1 year and 3 months ago in the United States, to wonder, to answer the question of, is this movement making a difference? Number 1, the first priority they came in with was something called card check. Card check is just a fancy term that says this: when individual American workers would be deciding whether or not to join a union at their workplace, they would take away the right to the secret ballot in that decision, and they would have it be an open process, open to intimidation and pushing and pressure, taking away the right to the secret ballot from American workers. It's the highest goal in labor negotiations of the labor unions. They're losing too many elections. That legislation was supposed to sail through. The American people looked at that and said, well, wait a minute, let's see. We're going to take away the right of Americans to the secret ballot, one of our most cherished rights in America when deciding whether or not to join our union? No, I don't think so. They rose up, and today, card check is as dead as a doornail. It's going nowhere. It's done. That was priority number 1. So did the movement make a difference? Yeah, it killed big labor and the labor union's top priority because it was a bad idea and it could not really be exposed to the light of day. Second issue, Al Gore's most cherished dream, cap and trade. You're familiar with cap and trade. It will be the largest energy tax in American history. We have an economy that is struggling, that is working to move to really create jobs. Our unemployment is well above yours, I believe. We're almost at 10% of unemployment. We have gross domestic product, which is kind of wavering. Certainly in the last 4 quarters, it's wavered dramatically. The last thing we need is expensive energy, to ration energy. Yet that's what the left wants to do. And they began pushing their most cherished environmental ideology, cap and trade. And the American people looked at that, and at first they thought, well, that sounds like a nice idea.